Welcome to SerialPodcastNine.
Start the episode and then tell me your story. And go.
I'm Gerardi Peralta.
And I'm Kevin Peterson.
And I'm Ryan Benoit, and this is SerialPodcastNine. Episode
49.
All right, Gerard, you got a story. And we're going to see if it's appropriate for a podcast.
Remember I was saying, I'm going to maybe try to get into flipping Porsches, whatever. So
Right.
kind of been looking at prices, whatever. Wake up, was it Saturday morning? First car I see, amazing. It's fucking insane. Dream car, whatever. I mean, and I'm like, fuck, is this what I think it is? It's like, and I'm thinking, okay, why is this thing priced like this? I mean, it's heavily modified, so obviously maybe it's not worth as much, but it's a 964, average price on any 964 is $70,000. This car was $23,000. $23,000. So what did I do? I bought it.
So you bought this car?
I pulled together 30K Canadian and I bought it. So I'm thinking
it's pretty sick.
It's fucking insane. So anyways, I'm like, okay, I'm telling Kat, I'm like, this Porsche is worth so much more than this. This thing is these guys don't have a clue what the hell's going on, this and that, whatever.
Now you just want to keep it though.
Yeah, obviously I want to keep it, but so there's that. I paid for it. It's reserved for me. It's mine. That's my invoice. And I'm on the island. I don't have a bank and I can't credit card this car. I can't PayPal this car. I have to get to a fucking bank and do a transfer. Eugene's not in on Monday. So I'm freaking out. And it's basically when you buy it, it's you got 48 hours to give them a fucking photo of a transfer. So I'm fucking freaking out. I'm getting all this shit done. I'm as we're coming home, I'm on the phone with Eugene, get this transfer done, gets the transfer done. My fucking address is wrong. Fuck, it doesn't have the invoice number on it, all this shit. And I'm telling Kat, I'm man, if this car is what I think it is. So first of all, it's supposed to be an RS, which is the fucking creme de la creme shit. Obviously it's seems ridiculous. The average price for an RS right now is $200,000, but it's in Japan. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not a real RS. It's it's Carrera 2. They put RS badges on it. It's it's all fucked up. It's probably been an accident. That's why it's so cheap, this and that. I go, but I don't give a fuck. This car is coming here. I'm going to sell it for at least $100,000. I'm golden ticket. I'm fucking making it. Right.
Yeah.
But of course I'm telling Kat, I'm man, this is too good to be true. This car is literally like a 6-digit car. So whatever, I'm on the phone with, I call Yasu in Japan. I'm yo, I need an extension. I can't get this thing done. I can't get them the bank transfer in time. But anyways, I managed to get them the bank transfer, this and that. So then I get, and now I'm shitting bricks because I'm I know they're going to figure it out. I know the price is wrong. It's literally missing an entire fucking digit, right? It should be 230,000, not 23,000. Sure enough, I get the email. Yeah, it says, thank you very much, but they fucked up. The price was 10 times more expensive than it was supposed to be.
So you thought you were going to get a $200,000 car for $23,000.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Right? Could you imagine?
It sounds like they want 2.3 million, doesn't it?
No, that's 200. So that's the car. 260. That's $300,000 Canadian. 340. Because it is a genuine RS. It has a fucking 993 RSR engine, so a racing engine with the 6-speed. ITBs, full cage. Those cars are $3,000 each. Has fucking fire suppression. Has 2-piece Alcon rotors and shit. It's literally those wheels are roof, magnesium wheels. It's the craziest Porsche in the entire world. And so yeah, I tried to buy it. I did buy it, but then they're just sorry, man, joke's on you. But I sniped it. I was I'm buying this fucking car. I saw it and I'm yo, Kat, I'm kind of freaking out. I'm yo, Kat, there's this crazy 964, you have no idea. This car is worth so much money. We're gonna make all this money. It's gonna be sick and this and that. It's fucking buying a fake NFT, man. fucking shit. Like,
Yeah.
At
Very-
least it wasn't a scam. At least it wasn't like
Yeah.
you send the money and there is no car. And you like
Yeah,
you
they
get-
sent you
yeah, I
like
get the
totally-
money back. It's,
you know that would have been the ultimate scam.
dude, if the car is so nuts, man. So,
I feel like I learned
that is part of
something
like a
about you.
scam, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is very insightful into like Gerard as a person.
Why?
I don't know. Like just such an optimist. Like Kevin, what would you have done? I feel like you would have off the hop maybe been a little bit more critical.
it said buy it now, so I bought it now.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? Yeah, I probably would have just why not ball out, throw it down.
Throw down.
Honestly, I was thinking about that over the weekend, where I was just like, man, I should have just spent that $30,000 on that Dyna tow truck that had like very little kilometers and like looked immaculate. Because my investment went down and I lost that money anyway at this point. So I could have had that tow truck or not had that tow truck and had the same amount of fucking money in the bank anyway, basically. So like here I am without the tow truck.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just wait it out; it'll be back up.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like you
I
lost that money.
No, I know, but like I feel like if I would have taken that money out, the money that's there now probably would have been at the same amount it's at now, and I would have this tangible asset of the tow truck, though.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you, and it's funny too because like now that the whole like crypto NFT thing is like kind of a little bit in the dumpster and stuff, and it's like people were so hyped on, basically JPEGs and stuff, right? And it's like at the end of the day, man, like people have shitty days and they get depressed or this and that, and like you don't get super stoked like looking at a fucking JPEG, you know what I mean? You want to like hop into a car or like, I don't know, fucking go out on a boat or like do something that's like takes you away from the shit, like, like literally you escape in something or on something, a motorcycle, a fucking car, a bicycle, who knows what it is. And those things cost money too, but like they're actually real, a real piece of art. Like touch the oil paint, you know what I mean? Like
don't touch the oil paint, you'll ruin it.
You know what I'm saying?
Getting your greasy hands on it.
If you really want to, you can.
Yeah, let's not get Gerard any nice art. He'll ruin the painting. What if I just rub my hands all over this?
It sounds like Gerard's like come full circle on the NFTs now, though.
No, I mean I'm still into it. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it's funny that like people are kind of like, oh shit, like, ooh, like it's a bit down right now.
I mean, it sounds like you've really just gone full Gerard on the thing. You were all about it, and then now you're like, or the opposite, where you're against it, and then you're like, yo, you know anything about EV cars?
Saw Plaid on the weekend.
Oh,
wow, was that impressive?
No, it was very underwhelming.
Yeah, of course. Like, what looks like a fucking ass. Like,
yeah, it looks. It no way looks cool. Like, I thought yoke. I didn't even look for it.
Oh, you should have looked for the yoke, and you could have been like, "Wow, that's my favorite steering wheel in the entire world."
Yeah, the stupider the wheel, the more I want it.
Yeah.
I also saw Lamborghini. What is like the CM002? They're like
LM002.
LM002.
Hold on, yeah. Those things are sick. Yeah, I have a picture with Dominic with one. And then the tires are crazy.
And then like
so wide.
60 Porsches in a row.
Oh, dude, I'm getting a Porsche, man.
Were any of them $30,000? No.
Dude, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. That's why I was like, yo, like the prices are pretty good. But you can kind of ask any of my friends. I've been obsessed with Japanese Porsches for like literally forever. Like I've always just like send my friends like, yo, check out this crazy Porsche with like, I don't know, what did it have? Like an HKS turbo and like a Grady intercooler that had been modified and stuff. I just always think it's so cool to have like a Porsche with like an OS clutch or like endless brakes. Like it's just so fucking cool, man. I
find that immensely more interesting than anything else, Porsche wise, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like, oh, it's like the thing that I like.
But it's a Porsche.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I think it's very enticing. And I was telling you the story. I was in Saskatchewan and one of the guys has just bought a Porsche.
Mm-hmm. That's a GT3, I think.
Yeah, it's a GT3. And now everybody is like, I should get a Porsche. I'm like, okay. they all golf now and they want a Porsche. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay. We
Yeah.
all turned a corner except for me, I guess. I was like, oh. I saw Carter's JZX and I was still like, oh, I think I like that the most, but I'm weird. Yeah. So that was a lesson about going home to the prairies.
So
Oh.
Jake sent me a link to a drift event today that takes place in October in Oregon. And first prize is a turbo JZX90.
Oh.
Yeah, second
Is
prize.
it put on by Y Plate?
It's put on by Y Plate, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gotta be.
Yeah, with Drift HQ and
that's sick.
Link and Valino and like
Sounds like a pretty dope event.
yeah, I was like, yo, that kind of sounds
But who's
sick.
driving though, right?
I don't know, man. Like
Probably some heavy hitters to win a $30,000 car.
That's what I mean, right? Like I was like, what's the tech rules? Cages? And he's like, no cages, pretty much anything. So like
Run what you
you can bring anything. Yeah, exactly.
When is it? October?
October.
Yeah, you can make that work. Do that.
But it's in like Medford.
That's
which is like
far. 8, 9, 10 hours.
Yeah,
it's a 10-hour drive. Yeah,
it's a bit of a.
I'm pretty sure that's where Final Belt was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it's a pretty like tight, small looking track. If you look it up, it looks very sick.
Listen, if you want to do that, I'll go with you.
I mean, I don't
Figure
know.
it out. If you want to win a car that you don't really care about.
I was saying that to Jake. How hilarious would it be to like import a JZX90 back from the States into Canada? Like,
It's probably a pain in the ass, to be honest.
Yeah,
you'd be selling
just
that car
sell
right
it down
away.
there. Yeah,
Like as soon as you want it, you'd be like, "Who wants it for 15,000?"
Yeah, I don't want a 90. Fuck that. I just wouldn't even bring it back. I'd just be like, yo, like sell this thing instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Fire sale. So I do have a question from JZS Poppy, our friend from Germany. It's a voice note.
Puppy.
I love that he sends voice notes. So I'm going to try to play it.
Yeah.
Can you not replay a sound clip?
Depends how they send it.
Instagram.
Well, if it's the kind that you can replay, then yes. If it's not,
exactly. There's two different ways.
I'm going to reiterate his question because I don't think it's going to work.
Or not.
Yeah, so I'm going to try. I'm going to do it on memory. So JZS Poppy, if I screw this up, I'm very silly. So essentially the question was, there's been an influx of American drivers going to Japan. Like we have more and more, like, and YouTubers as well. Like YouTubers, it's kind of become like, you got to go to Japan and you got to drive. What I guess what he was trying to get at was we see this like kind of influx of Porsche style being imported into Japan by people that aren't Japanese. And he kind of wanted to know what our thoughts were on that. Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't think that's a new thing, to be honest. I think maybe it's just more like prominent because of YouTube. Like a lot of, I want to say it's like probably Australians or Kiwis or like Europeans. I mean, what's his name?
I feel that like Japanese people like draw on all that stuff anyway, though. You know what I mean? Like the same way we draw on like Japanese stylings and stuff. Like, and also it's like it's not the world's best shit. Like, you know, some of that Japanese style stuff is terrible.
What's his name is man, I can't think of his name now. Power Vehicles. They have like an entire operation. And like, what about Brazilians, man? There are so many Brazilians in Japan, like Sidex, all Brazilians. Like, I don't really think it's new. I think maybe it's just what he's sort of seen. Like, what is his name? IGR.BRC or whatever. He's like a Brazilian YouTuber, has like a million followers, like hugely popular. I mean, I don't know if that's just like in Brazil or other countries. I don't watch him because it's in Brazilian or it's in Portuguese and I can't understand it. But like he hit us up for sponsorship before and I checked him out. I was like, yo, like this guy's like huge.
Yeah, he has that 100 that's like highlighter yellow.
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
Yeah. And then all the Side X guys are also Brazilian. And like, yeah, there's tons of Australians, Kiwis. Man, I can't think of where that dude's from, and I can't even think of his name right now. Power Vehicles guy. Like competes in D1.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but he's like, I want to say he's like Irish or British or Scottish, or he's, you know what I mean? Set up an entire business in Japan, like at Ibizu, like, you know what I mean? So like, I don't think the American thing is new.
But,
and I mean, Noriaro, Australian, been there forever. Samet, Australian, been there forever. Milky Diamonds, UK, you know what I mean? Like, the only person that I kind of know there's probably a few small YouTubers from America that are sort of doing it. But like, I mean, Adam LZ went there and YouTube from there, but he's not like moving to Japan to like, it's kind of either here nor there for me.
So you don't find that the waters are being diluted? Like, this isn't diluting anything for you? Is it taking?
I mean, the waters have been diluting for many years. I don't think it's more so lately.
Yeah.
Especially with COVID and stuff, there hasn't been an influx of people for like 2 years. So maybe now if there's a few people that come now, like they're making up for 2 years worth of lack of people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but I just saw a thing FBC posted that they were just like disgusted with how the pits were after like the last Matsuri, and like basically if you have like a slash plate, like you're like a foreigner, you're not allowed, like they might just not let them drive anymore.
Yeah. What's his name? Walter. I don't know his actual name. It's something Walter Does His Best is his Instagram. I think he put together like a GoFundMe and raised like $3,000 to help. Like they basically, wasn't it? Robbie Nishida gave it to the owner of Ibizu to like be like, hey, we're really sorry. Like this doesn't represent, like this behavior doesn't represent all foreigners. Yeah. This is for us to like pay for like any cleanup or any.
Oh, it's like, that's chill. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I think Walter is from America. So there's that. But I mean, like all those guys have been to America and done that, like Stuart Leask and like, or maybe not Stuart Leask. What's his name? Yeah, like a lot of guys have been to and got like to Japan for a Matsuri or a couple Matsuris or like a couple months and then just come back and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like totally viable to just completely move to Japan like indefinitely, like, you know, like Samet or Alexi.
It does feel like if you're like a one dude and you're a YouTuber, it could be a viable, you know, because all you have to do is keep making content. So like just go to where the content is, sort of thing.
Yeah. At the same time, the
like,
content has to be relatively fresh because like at this point with YouTube being, you know, like everybody's been to Daikoku like 100 times. Like who's that video where I'm trying to think of a YouTuber that people were like, yo, that shit's lame because like it's all like you're literally just like recreating content from like other YouTubers. But I mean, it's always new for you. You know what I mean? Like when's the last time if you go to Japan, you go to Daikoku on a night and you see all these sick cars and you're a YouTuber, you're going to film it.
What are you going to not? Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's going to watch it. Like, yeah, it's been seen before, but like their scene footage has probably been seen before and before, you know what I mean? Like the shit's been going on for decades. It's not new.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we kind of got it. It's just like, what do you think of these like TikTok builds coming to Japan? But I get the point is that a lot of people look at Japan as the
all and all style.
It's like the source code for what you do, and then now someone's there, kind of
influencing it poorly.
Yeah, and like riding a wave of a thing that you have. This really is a little bit of like when you break it down, it really is a little bit of like gatekeeping and stuff, a bit, right? Like because they are there influencing it poorly, representing probably outside of Japan not well in a lot of people's perspective. But
I could understand that. Like maybe if this guy is coming from where you come from and he is now you know, a representation of you, and you feel he's doing a poor job, that would be frustrating.
Frustrating for people as well to watch someone come in relatively fresh, maybe, or seemingly relatively fresh, do all the things that you would be interested in doing, but not do them as well, or like to your standard of how you'd want to do it. Does that kind of make sense?
I do get that, and I do hear that. Although I guess
like someone's a doer and someone's a wanted doer.
To be fair, I've had conversations with Gerard about stuff like that. It's like if Gerard did it, it would be different than what's happening now.
Yeah, but I guess the whole thing with me and the reason why I cared fairly little about this whole period is like, yes, I like drifting. And, I'd love to drive an Ibisu and like, do all that stuff. But like, I also have never ever seen a YouTuber or anybody go to Japan and like build a sick car, like a sick fucking car, and go drive like other events. Like they may not be as like challenging driving wise. And like, maybe, it's not like the be all end all of like driving experience, but like the Dory Dory event or any of the Aristo events or like the 1JZ Festa or like any of those events where it's like your car kind of has to be sort of sick and not just like, a drift car. Right.
Right.
Like I have not seen anybody go to Japan and build a sick car, to be honest. I don't know. I can't think of it. I mean, Andy Gray definitely built sick cars. I'll tell you that. But I mean, they are like D1 cars. They are drift cars. He's built so many that there probably are some good, street cars in there too. But like the cars that we look up to in Japan, or that I not look up to, but like the cars that I admire in Japan aren't on the same playing field as like the YouTuber, Ibizu, American, Australian. They're not the same.
Right.
So,
because the YouTuber is going there, like we kind of said, just to create content.
But I mean, building a sick car and going to like a 1JZ festival is totally content.
Yeah, but I guess there's overhead. There's what can you afford, the cost of doing it, what's it, and then and then the question is, do you have the taste to build a sick car? Like,
Well, see, the thing that I find interesting is like, I bet you if you take a demographic like of our, followers, or a lot of like the import scene followers or drift car scene followers, those guys probably spend, maybe not so much anymore, but like spend hours on Yahoo auctions trying to find the sickest wheels, or like, like trying to find this rare Aero, or trying to find this like, I don't know, like these, Ganadors and all these like cool parts. Like I know you can get them in the States now, and I know you can kind of, because of the internet and everything, you can get them anywhere. But like, why wouldn't you go to Japan and be like, yo, I'm going to buy these wheels on Yahoo, like find these sick ass wheels, and like maybe buy some like used kind of crazy like 326 power coilovers, or go to 326 and like buy the coilovers and like build this like ridiculous car that like you normally would build in the States, but build it in Japan and actually drive it around like literally on the ground. Go to Japan and build a van. I don't know, like do something that's not go to Ibiza and drift. Not saying that I wouldn't want to do that, because that's fully sick, but like, why hasn't anybody done that?
I think it's harder to.
It takes time.
It takes time.
But I mean, those guys are going there to like quote unquote live, aren't they? How long does it take to build a car when you're literally at the mecca of all the car parts?
Yeah,
I don't know. How long does it take you to build a car?
Probably take me a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, so like, I think if your income is reliant on your YouTube views, you need to get something, you need to like.
But I mean, how gold is like Ibizu content at this point?
Yeah,
like that's been done 100 million times over.
Okay, but you and I both know how hard it is to continually create content and then build a car, and then and imagine your income was dependent on. Why the fuck am I put in the place to defend these people that I don't care about?
One thing I will say though is like, that's just being like, oh, like I don't know, like every chess match is the same, or like it's like everyone's like yeah, sure, it's you're filming yourself at Ibisu. It's like it's still a different car, different person, different day, different like.
I think there's fresh takes on anything, but like at the same time, you could film that fresh take on building the car. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Sam had obviously like films, you know, him building this car and building that car. And like, he's, you know, has a bunch of cars and they're all pretty sick, but like none of them are like what quote stancy cars, you know, like
Right.
Nobody's building like the cars that all of our friends drool over. Like you could literally go and build the craziest S15 in the entire world in Japan, but like nobody does.
It's expensive.
But I mean,
a lot of money.
All that shit's expensive.
But then you got to live in a place, and then I think if you had the following,
I mean, I feel like you're just defending. Like,
I probably am, but I'm not.
I don't think it's that expensive. The car itself could be built for relatively cheap. You're in Japan, dude.
But then you got to pay to live in Japan. You got to make sure that.
Okay, how much does it cost to get a body kit from Japan?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's say the body kit itself is $2,000. You're paying almost $1,000 in shipping or $1,000 in rent because the body kit is only actually $2,000.
Right.
The wheels that you're paying almost $1,000 shipping on, you just go and fucking pick them up from the dude's place or like, I don't know, wherever, like get them shipped.
Listen, we all don't have Gerard. We don't all have Gerard money, and you got to get your stuff going. You got to get it going. You'd be out at the squash club. You wouldn't even be picking up. You'd find a squash club in Japan, and you'd be playing squash.
Talking to Porsche owners.
Yeah, talking to Porsche owners about how you
have
one that got away.
Have you seen the Porsche like meets in Japan though, dude? Oh, like the entire racetrack filled with like the sickest Porsches.
Hey,
the sickest Porsches.
So now that we're on to Porsches, where are we at with AMGs? Just so I can keep.
I mean, AMGs are great and everything, but they're all the dope ones are like kind of newer.
Right. So
like,
that's
yeah. So what I was looking at in Japan are like basically BMWs and Porsches because the BMWs like you can get E91s and stuff now. So all the E36s, 46s, 91s. Like I saw a pretty sick 4-door M3 on TEs, carbon lip, aftermarket seats, like pretty sick. It's like 44 grand, which I think is still quite a bit cheaper. I don't even know if we got 4-door M3 90s here. I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a fully fucking sick car.
I don't really know too much about the E90 though.
Well, it's a 4-liter NA V8 that revs to 8 grand, and it's a 6-speed, so it's fully fucking rad. Like, if you ever hear one, remember Jared's? Jared's was an M3. That thing sounded ridiculous, and like was just kind of a cool ass car.
Yeah, that thing was hella loud when he had that first exhaust.
Yeah.
All right. So if I sent you to Japan, you'd build the sickest car, go to all the events.
Oh, I mean,
so you, what is stopping the YouTubers from doing this? Do you think or the TikTokers or the whatever from doing? Is it lack of vision, lack of planning?
I mean, I think they're just a different kind of people. Like they're not.
They are drip bag skids. They're not wieners. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone did write in about that, and they said that we forgot the bullshitter.
Bullshitter, the guy that always has the story that's never true.
Yeah, and like the build that's never like actual.
Yeah, dude.
But then I kind of thought the bullshitter is actually the a high level like forever builder or like a low level forever builder. Like they built it in their head and they just lie about it. Like I felt like it fit into that category. But anyway, that was my take. I was like, they're going through it. They're telling stories about how sick it'll be or how sick it is, but they're still just a forever builder.
What did Rare Spec say? He was like, "Oh, what about
gatekeepers?"
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
but everyone can be a gatekeeper.
I just said they were just asshole lifers.
Yeah. And a quick thing, when I was editing it, I messaged Gerard and I said, I wonder if the Frankenstein guys, like the Dr. Frankenstein mad scientists, are just like high level skids. Like the
highest level,
yeah. Like they go from like, hey, this Volvo's got a crazy engine in it to like, like just anything to drift to still like anything
Just
to drift,
just
but
to be
it's
out there,
wild.
yeah.
Anyway, that's from our previous episode, if anyone's wondering, where we categorized car people into 9 separate categories.
Yeah.
And so you can take a listen to that because it's pretty great. So to go back to it, you're not mad at any TikTokers or YouTubers for being awful. It just doesn't affect you.
I guess the fact that they're in Japan being awful doesn't affect me because there are just so many more awful, or like the world of awful is just so large right now. The fact that it's like seeping into Japan, I guess to me is not the biggest deal. The fact that like Instagram is taken over by so much awful, it's maybe more of a concern. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kevin, how do you feel about it?
A little bit more. Like I agree with Gerard. Like it's everywhere. It's just getting everywhere, and it is what it is. Like I don't know, but also like there's a bunch of good shit going on, and like if you just concentrate on all that, like the stuff you don't like, then like like it's not helping you out.
Yeah, I think about the idea of like your circle of influence and what like actually matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that is so far outside of my circle of influence that like I have no control over it, and I don't think it actually affects me because you can just put race blinders on like a horse, like a racehorse.
I was like, race blinders?
Like a racehorse racing. Yeah. What are they? Horse blinders? Whatever.
They're called horse blinders, I think. But yeah, I mean, I know, we all know.
They're for racing. Fast horses. And not pay attention to the shit that's going on. And honestly, like I think you have to do that all the time. You have to do that in probably your own car scene. You have to like not pay attention to all the shit, like the bad shit that's going on around you. Like you can't focus on that too much. But I will say a lot of people that I know do focus on that stuff, and they really let it like dictate what they do and how they navigate the car world. Mm-hmm. Like we were having this conversation about going to car shows with one of the SerialNine employees, and their answer to why they didn't want to go to WECFest was because they build their car for themselves and they don't like the idea of building cars for other people. That's fine. And it's a very valid point. And like, this is a mentality that I ran into in Regina. People were saying like, there isn't a car scene here anymore and everyone kind of sucks. So I don't want to like bring my car out and be a part of a sucky car scene. But the issue is all the guys with cool cars have become, they're letting the shit dictate the things around them. So then the pile of shit keeps getting bigger, and then like the cooler cars are just being tucked away. It's like the guys with cool cars have to be more active in the car scene and have to try harder to fight for like or defend what they think is good. I think. I
mean, I agree. I totally agree with that too, because like, I'm not like a huge car show guy. I kind of like could kind of give a shit to like go to car shows. I do like sort of, I guess what I like about WECFest is it's like a relatively high level. So I feel like if my car sort of gets recognized by people that compete at that level, then I do feel kind of, like I feel like it's what's the word? It's like a good validation versus like going to like the fucking KMS car meet or going to like, no offense, but like Driven and stuff where it's like, I don't like really give a shit what any of those people think about my car. I just, what I mean?
But that's exactly Ryan's point. It's like you don't care what anyone thinks about your car. You think all the cars are whack, so you don't bring your car. But now the cars are whack because you don't bring your car.
Yeah, no,
it's below you.
I agree, but like we were going to go to Driven, it's just like didn't work out.
We were both away for the weekend.
We totally just would have gone to Driven.
I also would have gone to Driven. But that is the thing. I think that I've always thought that it's very like almost hypocritical for people to complain about their own car scene. They're like, our shit sucks.
Yep.
And it's like, but you have a really cool car and then you don't go out and like represent anything.
No,
So
for
that
sure. I
nobody
agree.
can go out and see your car and then be like, oh, that's actually what I
Inspired.
should
Yeah,
aspire
exactly.
to that.
It's like,
And
great. Your car is so nice. You built it for yourself and you just watch it. Like you just look at it in your garage and like your 5 friends see it and stuff. Like, I guess that's kind of cool.
It's fine if you feel all right about that, but also like, I don't think any car guy is totally okay with that.
Like nobody's car's ever good enough, man. My car's never fucking good enough. But like,
Right. But here's the thing is that all of us to some degree are in the business of like making sure that the car scene is cool, right? Or like keeping it to a caliber. If I could argue, you know, it's like it's in the best interest of SerialNine for people to want to build like quality cool cars because you build quality cool car parts, and that's a quality cool cars and quality cool car parts go hand in hand together.
Yeah.
For me, it was
Quality,
always
quality.
about, and then for me, it was always about like the idea of having content that was of a caliber that was worth sharing. And when the people who are vested in creating content or in the business of the car scene aren't also striving to make it better, then you're not really doing anything, you know, like you're not helping anyone out.
it's funny you say that comparison between content and cars, and it makes sense too. It's like I remember like making videos and thinking, man, these videos are kind of shit. Like I don't want to put them out because there are so many fucking dope, you know, YouTubers or videographers or vloggers or whatever now. And it's like what's so great about my content? Like the video itself isn't very good. Like the content to me is kind of like whatever. Like so it's a fucking blip, or so it's a like, you know, JZX100 or an Aristo or whatever it may be. But it's like, but realistically, just put it out there, man. It either gets watched or it doesn't. But if you don't put it out there, nobody's gonna fucking watch it because they can't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And also, if you don't put it out there, nobody will ever have the opportunity to know more.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, you'll never get the opportunity to know if anybody cares or not because you didn't do anything.
But also, nobody could ever critique you because you never did anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can never get any haters.
Yeah, you can't get haters if you don't do anything.
How are you going to be fueled by hate then, huh?
Exactly. Well, you're only going to be locally hated.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. How you? It is. It's a very. I don't remember what I was actually going to say. Damn it. I don't know. I think it's important for people to keep putting in. It's an investment. It's a constant investment in the car scene and making sure that things of quality and exist. And it rests on the shoulders of the people that have been out in it. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I've talked to people that have said that they've listened to this podcast and it's totally changed their perspective on cars.
Really?
And I think, and it's like, that's
for the
really
worse?
great. No, I hope not. They're just, they have written down AMG and now they're scratching it out. They're like Japanese Porsche. Whatever Gerard said.
Yeah.
No, but it's just because that was a perspective that didn't exist or that they didn't have access to. Your perspective existed, but we created a podcast and we didn't know if people would listen to. And then people listened and then you're like, oh, and that has an influence on people. And that's important, I think.
Yeah.
So, because I've seen things where in car communities, when the people of knowledge stop contributing, the one of the other categories that we've named in the past episode start to rise, and that becomes the main influence. I've seen drift scenes go from like pretty good to pretty bad because, you know, like it very quickly went from like style doesn't matter. It just matters like how hard you drive and you're going to wreck your shit. So why bother fixing it? Because the dominant mentality existed, like overtook the like, hey, style matters mentality.
Yeah, and I feel that like you just gotta be true to what you like and keep pushing that forward, and you gotta carry that torch, if you will. If and if there's a lot of people who like the same thing that you like, then you don't really have to be out there every weekend. But if you're like the only dude who's trying to get everybody to see the Camber's cool, then you probably got to be out there every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
Sorry.
Go on, Gerard. No, you go on.
And I was gonna say that brings us back to the whole TikTok thing, man. It's like the reason we see it all and the reason we see so much of it is because a lot of those dudes that are TikToking and whatever and like super camber and super ridiculous cars and this and that is because they all want to get seen. They all want to get they all want to be the most. They all want to be recognized. So like they're making TikToks, they're making reels, they're like doing all this crazy shit. And it's like, I'm not on TikTok, man. I don't know. I like to make reels and stuff. I don't do it as much as those guys do. So like maybe my car would be more popular or maybe more people would know what a blit is or whatever it may be. But like those guys are grinding in their own way to like get whatever shitty content or shitty style or good style or crazy, whatever it is that they're doing, they're grinding hard to get it out there. And that's why we see a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this before as well, where it's like that idea of they don't know what they're like. A seasoned car person will look at that and be like, that's not interesting to me because I'm a seasoned car person. And that seems pretty like entry level. But like a lot of those guys probably don't know. And they're just creating content, like you said. And then to Kevin's point, they're just carrying the torch for what they like and what they know.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, if you want something to be good, you have to be willing to carry the torch for it or put into it or help build it. Because you can't expect other people to influence things the way you want them to go.
I feel like we're just teaching people how to be good humans right now,
I hope that's all we're ever doing.
It sounds like what we're not really talking about cars anymore. We're just talking about general.
One thing I was going to say on that, like human tip is like, how we talk about these cars that like kind of have no style and we just drive hard and like, we don't really give a shit what it looks like and this and that. It's like, I'm going to say probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, those same dudes that have that car that looks like shit and it's just a quote unquote missile car, practice car, or whatever. Their street cars aren't that nice either, man. Those guys aren't fucking washing their cars every weekend or like polishing their wheels. They probably have a shitty street car too. So like, I feel like it kind of goes with the type of person.
I do feel like that. Yeah, that whole missile or whatever, it's just become a cop out. Where you're just like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a missile car. You don't have another one of these that's super nice or that's your competition car and you're just trying to get
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? This is just like, this is your car. This is your drift car. And this
just
is
admit that you're fucking
This is
skid.
what it looks like. Yeah.
You're a skid. You got a shitty car. That's fucking end of story, man.
But
like, you may be a great driver and you very well, 9 times out of 10, you are a way better driver than I am. That's totally cool. You get the seat time. That's awesome. But like different strokes for different folks, man. And like, I definitely don't want my car to look like that.
This has been I feel like this has been the issue for 8 years was that people just selected the part that they wanted to hear of what a missile car was. And then that was that. They were like, a missile car is a car that is made to be like driven and run into things. And then they ignored the part where it's like, you have to have a cool other car to call your missile car a missile car. They were just like, oh, a shitty car. And that has been,
And the other thing is like the idea is to go like very close door to door. The idea is not to bang doors.
Yeah.
Like, like I'm not out there trying to wreck every panel on the car.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are. They're like, we were banging doors. And it's like, that's not really what you want to do. You want to get as close.
Maybe they want to.
But then isn't that just a demolition derby? Like,
well, no, if you put tire marks on the door, I think that's pretty sick. But like, I think at that point too, if you're that close, like if you're driving that close, whereas like you can be so good to just put tire marks on the door, you're probably going to go a little hard and maybe hit the door at some point. But yeah, if you straight up go in and like smash into the door, that's whack.
Yeah. That was when that very much came to on the rise of like what I call the missile crisis, or I think a lot of people called it that. But Total Logic made T-shirts that like for fight the missile crisis.
I don't remember those.
It was.
I feel like I'd wear one of those.
I've never seen it.
It was like
I've never seen that artwork either.
It was from Final Bout special, like the Special Stage West when we were in Portland.
Really?
Yeah, it's like an old timey like World War II propaganda where it was like fight like the propaganda against the Germans and it had the all right, I'll find it.
Stop talking about it. Be about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
Email me the logo so I can put it on a shirt.
New SerialNine shirt. It's an old. I don't even care. You can.
We'll just put a Serial 9. I'll put it. We'll put X Serial 9 right where it says Dodo Logic.
Yeah, done and done. But it was even that people used to. Then they would misuse the term "keep drifting fun." Right? They'd be like, "Oh yeah, like keep drifting fun. You guys don't want to keep drifting fun." And I was always very like, the guys that created that didn't want you to fully be doing what you're doing. You're misusing that term. But they didn't care. Bunch of shitheads is what everyone is. No, I don't know. It's a 35 minutes.
One thing I was going to say about the AMG thing, you mentioned that it's like, so we went to the island on the weekend or whatever. And I was like, okay, like my entire life's literally been about sedans, fucking vans, wagons, anything besides a coupe. Like, I don't even think I've ever owned a coupe. Actually, I'm sure I had a Capri at one point. That was a coupe.
Like, bro.
Yeah. I guess the 8.6 is a coupe as well. Yeah. But neither of those are really like sports cars. I think the Capri was probably more of a quote unquote sports car than the A86 was. But kind of spent my entire life just like having cars that were just not the car. You know what I mean? So it's like I think in the near-ish future, I just want a car that's like the car, you know, like a 911 or whatever it may be. Like an M3 or whatever the car is, you know what I mean?
Like a midlife crisis car?
Keeps changing.
The what?
Like a midlife crisis car?
You know what that is? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that was what they would call it if you didn't have any crazy cars before this.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I mean, you know, one could call it that.
Yeah, for sure. Midlife crisis car is a 911. I mean, I think that's like a very common thing. I know probably. I don't know them personally, but I could guarantee if you ask a lot of people that bought 911s in the last like 5 years. Or the last 20 years, they're probably like half of them are midlife crisis guys. You know what I'm saying? One thing I was going to say that's kind of cool with Porsches too is that it's like the modding scene, or like I feel like it's very in line with like, you know, like the Japanese, like our kind of people. Like we basically build our own cars, like mod our own cars, and I feel like the true Porsche enthusiasts do that. Like there's a lot of DIY guys. It's like that's the car that they work on. It's a Porsche. And like I feel like they sort of welcome that. Whereas like I don't really see that with like Mercedes guys.
Hey, you guys, guess what?
What's up?
I've acquired a new car.
Oh snap!
Fucking moving up in that Prius.
Tell me about it.
2010 Prius.
Oh,
I think it's like a tech package. It is. I drove it back from Saskatchewan. I got like 43 miles per gallon, which I feel like a Prius can do better. So I'm going to look into that a bit.
It's probably your heavy foot.
Yeah, it's not. Actually, you know what the fun game is? It's trying to get really good gas mileage because it tells you like pretty frequently what your gas mileage is.
You know that most cars over 2010 do that.
Shut up, Gerard.
Even super old.
There's a little
BMWs.
bar though.
Yeah.
There's a bar and it tells you when you go into eco mode or when you're in power mode. Do all cars do that?
Our Sienna does that as well.
What? Get out of here.
A lot of cars do that, yeah.
Shut up.
That's
Shut
crazy.
the front door. it's a fun game to try to get good mileage.
It's way funner than trying to light up third. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
Listen,
I'm just kidding.
The saving money is what I'm trying to do. But the funny thing about having a car, which I feel like we're all guilty of, and the point it was like I was talking to one of June's. So one of the kids that June goes to daycare with, the dad, he was like, "Oh, you got a Prius?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, I for some reason started looking at.
He's like, "Yeah, I got a Tesla. Fuck you."
No, he's got a 4Runner as well, so he's got the same like 4Runner I have. And I I kind of started looking at car parts, and there was a very, very slippery slope of, I was looking at it. I'm like, it's kind of a cool looking car, but
very.
The wheel gap is kind of stinks. Yeah, like, gotta do. Should a guy do something about the wheel gap? And then you start what's a non, you're like, what's the entry level? And then you're like, oh, lowering springs, and that's probably not the right thing. And then you're well, maybe I get coilovers and just don't dump the thing because I gotta daily it. And then you're like, oh man, I wonder what aero you can get. And then I've already spent a shit ton of money in my head on this car, and then you're
saving it on gas, so really you might as well spend it somewhere.
And also, did you know that if you lower it, Ryan, your fuel economy will increase?
I did know that.
Exactly.
I did know that.
So
but then
you could justify it to your wife.
And I feel like you probably need to get new wheels that are probably
lighter,
flush face.
Yeah,
I don't know if you'll get lighter wheels. That's for sure, because they're
get some Rays.
15s.
I'm pretty sure Work and Rays made Prius specific wheels. They're super narrow. Yeah, they're super narrow and very light. Yeah.
Wow. It has Enkeys on it right now, but they're 17s.
Oh, there you go. They're already done. Just dump it. You're done. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, the fitment isn't great. Anyway, so many things.
See, the thing with the camber, Ryan.
Get some VSKS on there.
So the reason why camber is good for an eco car is because you want less
contact patch.
Oh, good.
So the stock wheels were 185, 60, 18 or whatever the hell they are. So you want to keep the same contact patch, but you want it to look cooler. So you put a 10-inch wheel on, but if you tilt it, 7-8 degrees, you still only have 1/3 of a 205 on.
Oh, good science.
Yeah. Science means camber.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just funny how quickly rational thought goes out the window.
Because you're a car guy.
But I think
I
think we
probably wouldn't
rationalized everything for you.
Yeah, I mean a little.
Look at how much we rationalized it.
I know, but is it it's and the guy when I was talking to him, he was like, "No, just keep it stock." What do you do? He's like, just keep it stock and drive it. Why are you talking about lowering a Prius? And I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of cool, I think, but
because also you don't want to be the guy with the stock ass Prius that rolls up the fucking daycare,
Yeah.
You don't want to forget which one's yours in the parking lot.
Yeah, I don't want to forget.
Speaking of forgetting, so we're on the island. We're in, I always forget what it's fucking called, man.
Shit. Where you stay when you go there?
Yeah, I always forget.
Jesus.
So whatever, Couch, small town, and just generally around that area, Duncan and Chemainus and stuff. You see a bunch of cars. You see all kinds of cars or whatever, but you don't see fucking Teslas. And when I came home, I was just genuinely kind of pissed off at the amount of Tesla. I'm like, fuck, man. Is this what and there's obviously more cars in general, but man, if you're at a light, you've got 5 Teslas at the fucking intersection. I'm just oh, and they're all.
Hey, Gerard, what color are they?
They're all
white, obviously.
Oh, white.
Fuck, I forgot about these things. I forgot about them for 4 or 5 days. I was just never seen a Tesla. Yeah.
Then it's back.
Yeah.
Shit.
Anyways.
Yeah. So we've talked about modding dailies before, but it is a funny thing. It's like I could just enjoy this car for what it is.
But see, that's the thing is you don't.
I know.
Part of the reason you don't enjoy it for what it is because there's a certain lameness attached to the car itself. And you want to delame it to enjoy it more.
Yeah. It's a real struggle being a car guy in 2022. You're constantly looking down the barrel. And different people I talk to have different perspectives. They're like, fuel isn't going anywhere for a long time. Don't worry about it. The combustion engine is going to be around for a long time. And I was like, I don't. And to Gerard's point, you're at a stoplight and you see 5 Teslas. And I think it's very hard to tell someone that lives maybe on the West Coast that that's like not to worry about combustion engines.
Yeah.
Right? Like but then I just sound like a crazy person to everyone else. And probably when we do this podcast, I'm like, oh, we're running out of time. And people are like, shut the fuck up. It's not going anywhere.
Kevin's the biggest proponent of that.
I mean, I feel like I was for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe now I'm in that like hopefully optimistic, like just dumb optimism, blind optimism.
I'll tell you what. Oh my God. You just gotta enjoy it, man. And I mean, that's
just it. It's like you gotta enjoy what you have while you have it, and like I have it now, so I'm enjoying it now. And it's like I don't know. I think they said in BC they're not going to sell 2-wheeled gas-powered vehicles after 2029. So in 2030, you can't get a 2-wheel drive or whatever, like a gas-powered motorcycle, scooter, anything like that. And I think the cars are not that far after it, but then there still will be old gas vehicles. But like I don't know, maybe there'll be some shit where you like can't drive it into the city,
Right. Or gas just gets so expensive.
Super expensive, that it's prohibitive.
Which is why I was was more keen to have the Prius in my life because fuel economy in a 4Runner is shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally driving the shittiest vehicle on fuel in the entire
Yeah. Yeah, but I like that.
And with no
vehicle.
return. It's not fast.
No.
It'll get you anywhere, buddy. And then home.
Yeah, it'll get you to fucking work and back. Just like literally any other car on the planet.
But Gerard, you bought, and we've talked about this, you bought a daily, and then you're for sure going to mod it as well, aren't you?
Which one? The BMW?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's modded. I got Bilstein basic coilovers for it and 18-inch wheels.
Just like that.
Yes. They'll be waiting for the car when it arrives. Should be.
No wheel gap for Gerard in his life ever at all. Not even.
Well, no. I mean, I'm also trying to sell it. So I do want it to kind of stand out. I feel like for me, it's like I personalize the car a little bit. I enjoy it for, 2 to 8 months. I kind of get a feel for the car. And then I'm just like, okay, next. If I like the car, I'll buy another one. If I don't like the car, I'll not buy another one.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't feel like a stock 118i is going to really give me any sort of enjoyment of the BMW mark. I would at least like it to be somewhat performanced, I guess, if you will. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be like a race car. I just want it to be like a sports model of the same car, if that existed.
So what you're saying is mod your daily.
Yeah.
100%, man. I mean, you gotta at least want to look back at the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree, but it's like also,
it can be so little, man. I mean, like Cat Sienna has 19-inch Genesis wheels on it, and they weren't expensive. They were $400, and they're staggered and they fit well. They're, like the Sienna SE, I think it is, has 19s on its stock. So I mean, we just picked the stock Sienna tire size. I just didn't want hers to look like the absolute fucking base model shit that it is. So we got better summer.
That it is. I didn't want people to know my wife was driving a garbage. I agree.
But to that though, because she obviously, she's like, yeah, just whatever, just do whatever. Because I'm like, okay, we're gonna put winters on the stock wheels, and we're gonna buy these like summer tires and put them on these nicer. And she's like, yeah, whatever, just fucking do it. And I'm like, okay. And then so after I put the 19s and shit on, they're kind of like a black chrome or whatever. She's like, likes her van. She like likes looking at it and like likes driving it, and like even a non-car person can appreciate. And I mean, I think that's BMW's formula. They literally just have like the basic looking cars, and then every other one looks kind of more interesting than the basic one. And those are the ones that you see, you know, all these people buy and spend a bunch of money on because they just look more interesting, more exciting, you know?
Whew. So you're saying I should buy coilovers for a Toyota Prius?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe someday.
Yo, just get some max peating rods, bro, because it's just your daily.
Yeah, man. 250 bones. Get that bitch slammed.
Yeah, and then just completely throw the ride comfort out the window.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to do, though. Like, I want, like...
Hey, you know what you want? This is what I'm going to tell you right now. The coilovers you want to buy.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Are the new HKS Hypermax or Blitz, ZZDs or whatever. Just get something from Japan that is a well-known brand. Like, get some fucking teens for it, man. I guarantee you teens are going to be good. But just don't buy like fucking BCs or max peating rods or yellow speed.
I didn't even know what max peating rods was until you said it right now. It's never been in my vocabulary. I was like going to be like, what is max speeding rods? Like,
I swear it's like a meme brand. Like,
really?
It's like dick ass.
Yeah. Dick ass. Like, those are legitimate brands. Yellow Speed, dick ass.
Ryan Star.
Yeah, Ryan Star is a brand.
I should get those. It's got my name in it.
You should.
What a sale. I mean, I got another car that requires attention first, I feel like. So maybe I'll continue.
Yeah, you should probably get some money saved up so you can buy parts for the 4Runner.
I gotta sell the 4Runner.
I know
you're gonna need them.
You need a winch.
Yeah.
I'm selling the 4Runner. The 4Runner is gone.
Well,
away that car goes.
I'd like to see how much you can get for it in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
like
a
year ago, 2 years ago, you'd have got fucking huge money for that thing.
Yeah.
I feel like
we'll have a conversation.
I feel like even 6 months ago.
Yeah, I feel like 6 months ago you probably could have got huge money for that thing.
They're still listed pretty high.
Good.
Yeah, I still feel that people are still wanting vehicles, and they're, you know,
the thing with a 4Runner is that people still want to go camping, and they want that. Like, that's kind of
the thing too, is because it's the entry price is still relatively low. It's like your choices are a new 4Runner for 70 grand or this 4Runner for 15 grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be a fun thing, but I gotta get that out of my life. Gotta do a little bit. I gotta take all the stickers off of it that my daughter put on the inside window.
It's easy.
Yeah. So I got that. So I'm trying to be a full-fledged Vancouverite with a Prius. You know?
Nice.
We're going to Weckfest.
We are.
What did we determine? So when this episode comes out, we will have been back from Weckfest. Gerard will have surprisingly won an award for his Blit. He'll be.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. No, I'm just
kidding. I'm definitely not winning shit for that.
He will be at first flabbergasted that he won an award, but soon turned it around to, of course he won an award. He's Gerard.
If they have an award for some sort of wagon, perhaps I might get an award.
What I was saying today was like I'm concerned about them being like, yo, your car's too beat up to come. Like,
I can 100% see that. Because in the photos, it looks,
yeah, in the photos, it was clean, and now it's been well drifted.
Yeah.
Or car. You're worried about the Altezza?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, they'll be fine.
I feel like in the realm of like a drift car, it's okay. Like I feel like there's a little bit of like,
it's still a very nice drift car, but like
there's
in the world of show cars,
there.
It's not.
Yeah.
Like I feel like your wheels transcend it, or like, you know what you mean? Like your wheels like go a long way towards making it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not like I have like square wheels or something.
Yeah, like if you had like Cosmos, if you had
Cosmoses
on that thing, fucking see you later, buddy. Like you're not coming to my show.
Yeah.
Or even, I mean, even if they were like VSKFs or like, you know, like Go 3s or whatever, I feel like the fact that they are unique is a huge positive.
Man, we haven't made fun of Blitzo 3s in a long time.
What do you mean? Like we make fun of like almost every episode.
We haven't in a few episodes.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, but
no, it's like your hate for Blitzo 3s is gone.
I don't like hate them, man. I never said I hated them.
Oh, I think actions speak louder than words.
I feel like I just
and your words were pretty loud.
I feel like I just hate the fact that people think that that's like the most amazing wheel on the planet. Like it's just an average Japanese wheel, man.
You hate the fact, but you don't hate the wheel.
Okay, you know what? You know what we can talk about?
Hate the player, don't hate the game, buddy.
We can talk about a couple of things, but they're just about me. So
yeah, I want to do that.
Shit. All right. So I'm finally at the what's the word? Crossroads, or like the point in which I think the Blit is a nice car. I am genuinely kind of happy with it. And like
I just want to say you've said it in a few podcasts. So this is a continual crossroads that you come to. You are constantly coming to a fork in the road in your life.
With that car?
Yeah. Every road you travel with the Blit is a fork in the road. Anyway, continue.
Well, whatever. It's got a turbo upgrade recently, which is pretty cool. I did sound deadening and a stereo in the car. So it has like amplified, you know, whatever. What else? I swear that's kind of, oh yeah, the paint. I got all the like shit on the car painted. Like it, you know, came over. It was kind of not a nice car to start with. And then I just proceeded to like winter drift it and do all this stuff and kind of, you know, it's kind of beat up and got backed into and this and that. And so the paint, I got the paint fixed and the dude did an amazing fucking job. And so the car like looks like a nice car now. And then drives like a nice car now and like sounds like a nice car now. Like the exhaust note with the turbo buddy, it's fucking amazing. So like, yeah, like I drove home last time I drove home and I was just like, man, like this car's like, you wouldn't think gas was $1, fucking $2.80 a liter or whatever, by the way I drove, you know what I mean? Like, this, like people are probably like, yeah, fuck this guy. Like,
yeah, you should probably put a gauge in there that tells you when you're in eco mode, like a modern car.
But just like to hear the turbo even spool, it's like, buddy, game over. It's so sick.
How long do you think this feeling will last?
Well, I feel like Gerard is the kind of, he has this personality where he kind of just needs new shit all the time. Yeah. So like it'll probably last as long as when I get it tuned. So that'll be another 2 to 4 months that I'll be happy with the 350 horse. And then the new coilovers come. So I'll be happy with the suspension for another, you know, 6 to 8 months. But honestly, this car is pretty much at the end of its build, if you will. I think the only thing later on that I'd like to get is like an R-Tech manifold, and I mean maybe cams. That's pretty much it. And I don't maybe like a matching passenger seat. There's nothing really more I want to do with the car besides, you know, the SerialNine suspension would obviously be nice because it's all sort of stock right now, but like I don't really think those mods are like really wild or anything. I don't know if I'm going to do the big fenders with the different wheels anytime soon because I have to focus on the other car, which was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Is I'm really, really excited to put my veil sides on another car.
Yeah, the Stagia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not. So you have more cars coming in.
Yes.
You have how many cars coming in total?
Well, I haven't seen the one, but it arrived at the shop yesterday. Our good friend Daryl dropped it off. Kevin's seen it. Kevin's driven it. I haven't even fucking seen it.
Kevin, how did it drive?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I drove it like 100 feet and immediately parked it and went inside.
Did you feel like $1 million? Wait,
Kevin's so like, fuck this thing.
I can't remember. Does it have a 1J in it?
Yes, but it's NA.
It does have an NA 1J.
And it's a manual.
No, not a manual. Hell no.
Okay, relax. I'm just asking. So you have to turbo it and 6-speed it.
No.
You don't have to do anything.
That one is simply because there are
yelling at me.
Everyone,
that one is
down.
That one is just like a
cell.
A cell. So that one is getting Stance XR1s, these Pro Drive wheels that I have, and just a few cosmetic bits, and then that's it.
Right.
Bye-bye.
But the wheels that are on it are so sick, bro.
I know. They're like bottle.
They're fully like bottle caps. Yeah.
But like an actual old bottle. They're so brutal. And they're like 15s.
Yeah, they're pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and then the BMW and another Toyota is coming.
And you haven't posted the Stagia for sale yet.
No, I have to clean it up. I have to do some stuff on it. That car actually is quite good on fuel. It's a VQ 25, so
could have had that going.
Mm-hmm.
So many things happen in the world of Gerard. What's happening in the world of Kevin?
Nada. Just trying to. I guess I kind of worked on the Alteza today to try and get it ready for Wreckfest. Started cleaning it up a bit, which I was like, I haven't really done this in
6 to 8 months.
5 years. Like, look, I don't know. Yeah, like probably like I don't know. It probably hasn't like looked this good since, or this clean maybe would be a better way of saying it, since it was just painted. Yeah.
Kevin went to Kelowna this last weekend and went on a cruise.
Yeah,
cruise.
Rode scooters.
Oh, is that what you guys did?
Yeah.
That was in Kelowna?
Yeah, it was in Kelowna.
Oh, shit. So people brought their scooters to Kelowna?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you bring your scooter to Kelowna?
The CRV.
Oh, shit. I totally didn't know that. I thought I was like, the scenery looks a bit weird, but I just assumed you guys went to some place. And so how many scooters were there?
Gerard, be a better friend.
We were like 20.
Yeah. Why am I not a good friend?
Well, I don't know. You spend it every day with Kevin. I don't know.
I knew there was a scooter thing happening. I just didn't know it was in Kelowna. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And that seems like a pretty crazy thing to bring your scooter to Kelowna.
I mean, I knew he was in Kelowna and I was 2 provinces away. Anyway, it's fine. It's not like I hang out with him every day for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, no, it was super fun because it was kind of like the first time the weather's been nice for us.
Yeah. This
year. So like it was like just a super hot weekend. And then like Kelowna was like a lake town, just a harsh tourist town that people just go to party. So everyone's like in a harsh good mood and drunk and partying, and super well received. We just like cruised around and like went up and down like to all these different beaches. And then the guy Mason at After Hour Supply Co. like set up a thing where we all went to this restaurant, and there was like kind of like finger foods, or like the whole thing was already set up for us. And then I just took a bunch of photos, and then he had a party after. So it's like super chill, super well organized.
And Nicole went with you, obviously, no?
Yeah, she just kind of like, she didn't have a scooter though, so she just like kind of hung out. But Yeah, I was saying to Jake that this is like kind of like all the ones we do in Vancouver. They're like they kind of get super hectic, and everyone starts riding like complete idiots, and like
yeah.
it just becomes like pandemonium.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was like actually very chill. Like people were following the traffic rules, and
That's
it
cool.
was just different. It was a nice change, you know.
And you didn't ride on the sidewalks or anything?
I mean, I did, but they didn't.
That's why I was like, Kevin. So who are these people obeying traffic rules? Clearly not fucking you.
Yeah, the other 19 people. Yeah.
Yeah, I've ridden motorcycles with Kevin, and I'm just like, why the fuck's he on the median again? Like, what's going on here? Like,
Kevin does.
It's not a fucking obstacle course.
Anything can be an obstacle course.
So speaking of scooters, I was like, okay, like looking, I don't know why or how I stumbled across. So a Honda Elite 150. I was like, yo, that thing's kind of cool. And I was like, yo, 150? Like, I didn't know they made 150cc scooters here. Like,
yeah, they have Elite 250.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Oh, I think I was on a YouTube channel and they bought one and the dude was just doing wheelies straight out the fucking car. I was like, yeah, that's kind of sick. And it's like a crazy looking scooter.
Yeah, that's the Elites are what got me into scooters. Like, they're
really?
So future.
Yeah,
they're like so 80s future. They have like a pop-up headlight. Like,
yeah, pop-up headlight and like a digital cluster. They're fucking. I always thought it'd be cool to just, you know, how it kicks up at the front to like barely see the wheel. I was like, why don't they just make like a front spoiler that completely covers the wheel and then lower it, and it'd be so cool. So, anyways, yeah, they're expensive as fuck though.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Yeah,
like at $1,500, I don't think I'd spend that for that. But
everything is sort of that price, unfortunately now.
Really?
Well, now like I mean, scooters were going up and up and up over the last 2 years, and then now the gas prices like. Why wouldn't you?
No, I just thought it was like what the popularity of scooters made them expensive, and I can't see that happening. Like,
well, I mean, I don't know, like sort of like back before, like all those stupid Japanese scooters that we like, but you know, two summers ago were like $200, and now they're all like $1,000 to $1,200 because like kids are trying to buy them like. The minute they go up for sale, like 30 people message the person. Like,
and the craziest part about that scooter too is I was like, oh, Elite 150, like blah blah, like it's kind of cool. And it's like it was in North Cowichan where I was on the weekend. I was like, that's fucking weird. Like, what are the chances of that, right? And it was like, oh, maybe I should go look at it. I was like, nah, I'm not buying a fucking scooter.
Yeah, but Jake literally just messaged me one that was like same thing. It was like, man, that's a good deal. Like, we could buy that and like easily double our money, but like I'm like, I don't have any time, and Jake's like, I don't have any room, and like I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Like I could make some money, but like I don't know. Like
I told him to find me any scooter that runs so I could do wheelies around the shop. I said I'll just practice doing wheelies on fucking anything. Because if I could do wheelies at 20K, it'll be fine.
Kevin, how much was the one that Jake found?
It was a jog. It had 2 sets of plastics. The ad was for 1,000. Jake said he'd already got him down to 600.
Oh, really?
So.
And it ran?
No, that was a problem. It was like he's like it starts and it'll idle for like 2 seconds, but then it just dies. But it had.
I feel like that's a pretty small problem.
That's just why exactly. It's a small problem, and it had papers. So we were like, we could buy that when it runs. That's like a $1,200 scooter, easy. So like double your money. But like, I don't got any time. I got this drift event. After that, I'm trying to do a bunch of other drift events. Like Gerard, I got to finish my truck. I'd like to get my truck going. So, and then I got the 18 Crown. I got that K series. Whoever, maybe I don't know. It's cool, maybe.
Oh, there's so many things.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need more scooter projects or any more projects.
Okay, let's wrap this up. What did we learn today? We talked about how YouTube shouldn't. It can be annoying, but don't let it bother you. Don't let other people's shit fuck you up, I think.
I think that's really all it is. Just stay in your own lane and just do what you think is cool or do what you love and just keep doing it. And
but if what you love sucks, then you don't do that.
Everybody's going to think something sucks, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think it's important to constantly reassess and course correct when needed. Anyway.
It's all about reflection.
Yeah. If what you do kind of sucks, then you can get better. Ask questions. Be
Yeah.
less of a punk. And then if you have it daily, you're probably eventually at some point going to want to mod it. And then it's inevitable because that's who you are as a person and you can't get it out of your blood. So those are the things that I learned today.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Oh, and we're going to Wackfest. There's a
We've
lot
already,
to worry about.
we've already been there.
Yeah, we've already been there. Gerard's won an award. He's very happy with. All right, you guys. I, as always, enjoy talking to you. So thanks for spending time with me.
Thanks for listening to us.
See you later, Kevin.
Peace out.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Serial Podcast 9.